Browns will play the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football, Mary Kay. Today was Friday. We got to hear from Odell Beckham Jr., and we finally got to hear him talk about the incident with Marlon Humphrey. He didn't really get into the whole whether it was a choke or not a choke, but he did talk about kind of what happened and also the fine system in the NFL. A lot to cover with Odell.
Yeah, he did get fined for the hit, and it was probably significant because he's been fined more than $220,000 already in his career for fighting and different things like that. So he can expect a significant fine for this. He wouldn't say, however, as you mentioned, whether or not that Marlon Humphrey choked him. One interesting thing he did say about that, though, was that he didn't do to Marlon what he wanted to do when he was on the ground.
Yeah, which is significant because, of course, we all remember the Josh Norman, Odell Beckham dust-up back in 2015. And you know, Odell Beckham ran at Josh Norman at one point and hit him helmet to helmet and ended up getting him suspended. So, you know, Odell kind of talked about how he's sort of matured a little bit and learned how to contain that side of himself.
Yeah, and that's what that's what you need to do if you don't want to hurt your football team. It was bad enough that he got a penalty; those offset, but he could have gotten suspended, and he prevented himself from doing that.
Now, his teammate and friend in the wide receiver room, Jarvis Landry, cleared from the concussion protocol. A pretty quick turnaround. It sounded like Landry, you know, didn't necessarily, it wasn't quite as strong as Demarius Randall was a few weeks ago, but he seemed a little surprised that he ended up in the protocol. He was back at practice today, though, and full steam ahead to go on Monday night.
Well, they're very cautious with these guys with head injuries these days, as they should be. So a lot of times a guy doesn't feel like he needs to be in the concussion protocol. He felt like maybe he could even come back in that football game, but obviously he did not. I saw him, I think it was the next day, and he seemed like he looked really good to me. I thought he was going to play in this game. So here he is. He'll be out there, and that's really good for the Browns because, of course, he's coming off an 8-catch, 167-yard game.
Yeah, he said that the call came from New York to get him checked, and then, of course, he went into the protocol. And the thing he does is he really unlocks a lot of things in this offense with his versatility. Another guy that unlocks a lot of things in this offense, Antonio Callaway. He will be back on Sunday. Has not officially been moved to the 53-man roster yet, but we'll get there eventually, and he's back.
Yeah, he's back, and we have all seen what Antonio Callaway can do and how he can take the top off of a defense when he's on point. And he was really determined to take a big step up this year. So I'm anxious to see what he looks like in a football game. We have not seen much of him. He had a high ankle sprain through preseason, and so we just really haven't seen him. He was on the second team a lot through camp. If he made a jump from where he was last year, he can be quite a weapon.
Yeah, and he told you back in June his goal was 1,000 yards and 10 or more touchdowns. The bad news, Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, still on the sideline, still dealing with those hamstring injuries.
Yeah, you know what? The thing about that, though, is the guys behind them, again, Terrence Mitchell and TJ Carey have played so well that it really has not had a huge impact, the loss of these guys. So even if they can't play, it's not catastrophic. They can still go win this football game.
All right. Browns and the 49ers, Monday Night Football. We'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns. Make sure you sign up for Football Insider to get texts from Mary Kay and exclusive content leading up to that football game.